Let's bring in Hollywood divorce attorney David Glass for more on this. David?
People going through divorces are going through some of the hardest times of their lives, and a lot of what they're going through is emotional. And in any divorce, there's a huge sense of loss, and loss of relationship, of money, some friends.
We're back again for another episode of the Hourglass Podcast, where family law and psychology intersect. I'm a certified family law specialist, former psychologist, and the author of Moving On, Redesigning Your Emotional, Financial, and Social Life After Divorce. We've taken on some pretty serious subjects in this season's first couple of episodes, and for good reason. Psychological and physical abuse are issues that need to be dealt with by those going through a breakup. And people need help and resources to do that. That's why we're here. Today's a little different though. We're going to shift our focus from the heavier topics and lighten the load a bit. We're going to talk about one of the new age ways to get through a divorce. While most go through a traditional grieving period step by step to process the different stages of divorce, there are those who are now introducing new advanced methods, a whole new approach, a laser-quick way of moving on. There are boot camps and retreats, weekend seminars, and innovative programs that offer revolutionary ways to go from breakup to makeup, a whole new life in warp speed. I like to refer to these new ways of getting through a breakup constructively as healthy revenge quick fixes. These were not available 10, 20 years ago. And while we couldn't invite all of these new age specialists on the show today, the guests we do have will get you thinking differently about how you navigate your way through a divorce. So, if you're having a hard time plodding through all the business aspects of processing your divorce, or if you're simply finding yourself stuck in a constant funk, this episode will likely get your head in a whole new different place. Our guest today is Dr. Valerie Sher. She started working with the Naked Divorce program, and it's certainly different and unique. Dr. Sher is a psychologist and divorce coach, specializing in helping people move through the intensity and grieving process of losing a relationship, a family system, and a happily ever after mentality. Dr. Sher's Naked Divorce programs offer a series of growth-oriented processes to healing, cultivating wisdom, and revisioning a future. And it must work because more than 82 global publications and media outlets have written about it. And as I understand it, Naked Divorce offers a money-back guarantee. And to date, no one's ever asked for a refund. Now, Dr. Sher, first off, what prompted you to start working with Naked Divorce? And describe to our viewers the program's philosophy and the format.
Well, as a couples therapist, I try to keep people together, and invariably, they are going to divorce. They've come too late in the process. They find out during the course of therapy that it's not something that they want to continue with. And so there needs to be something, how do you help those people once they decide that divorce is the next step for them? I happened to be in Thailand and met a woman who's a good friend of mine, and she told me she was a divorce coach. And I was very interested in that, and she was working for Naked Divorce. And I wanted to know more. And so I came back and I reached out to Adele Theron, who is the founder of Naked Divorce, and she lives in New Zealand, so it's quite an international program.
Right.
And I spoke with her, and I went through the program myself and thought it to be brilliant, and I came on board with her. And so I've taken a number for the last couple of years. I've been working with her, and it's been phenomenal to see how people move through this program.
Great. Now, can you describe the program's philosophy?
Well, the program's philosophy is based on time does not heal all wounds. And you know that probably as a divorce attorney, and that people can be stuck for years at great cost to their own mental health, to the cost of their children, to their financial health, and to their community and extended family.
Yeah.
And so when she was going through her own divorce, and she was looking for something that was time-bound and efficient, and she couldn't find anything. And she comes from a background of psychology, change management, and executive coaching, and she really wanted something that was efficient. And so in her own recovery, she put together this program. And so it's very goal-oriented. It's a learning program and coaching, and it involves very specific activities. There's lessons, there's themes for the day, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the different programs. But it's very geared towards helping people take power back into their life and to kind of re-access their strengths. Divorce is such a destabilizing process, and there's a lot of chaos and housing and finances and all of these things. It can be very destabilizing, and this program really helps them to go through 3 different stages of dealing with some of that, and then looking at what are their patterns in the relationship and how can they heal and grow. And really through learning about themselves and themselves in relationship, they can heal the trauma of divorce, because it is a trauma of sorts.
And you mentioned on your website that you can get a person over their divorce in 21 days. Just sitting here, I'm not sure how that's possible. I got into therapy for a full year after my divorce to help me with my healing. But tell me, how do you get someone through it all in 21 days?
Well, therapy is geared towards like a once-a-week thing. You're going in there, maybe spending a lot of time venting, processing your emotions and things like that. And there's often not a real structure to it. And so this program has a structure. And there's 3 phases that we take people through. And the first phase is cocooning. And it's really about grounding and stabilization, like I said, because of the chaos that can ensue following a divorce. And so grounding, stabilization, looking at finances, what are the basic things that people need to do? For some people that are just divorcing, this is maybe going to take longer. And so we also have a 3-month program if people need that. I can share a little bit more about that. But in general, there's the cocooning phase. It's about pulling your energy in, and because there can be a lot of, talking about the relationship and this and that. So there's about 6 days of really grounding people and looking at all kinds of things like diet and sleep and ways that they're numbing themselves out or trying to cope with drugs and alcohol, and really getting them to kind of stop doing all that.
Right.
And then there's a second phase, which is called Metamorphosis, and this follows the butterfly, if you haven't gotten that. And so then the Metamorphosis phase and the grounding is really geared to help them to do a deep dive. And they do a deep dive into really looking at their relationship, looking at their patterns in relationship, looking at past relationships, and what are they perpetuating, and what is their responsibility to the dissolution of the marriage. And sometimes people that have been betrayed and had different things happen in the marriage, sometimes that can be hard. But for people that can really take a look at their role in the marriage and learn from it, that's really where the transformation happens. And, there's a saying that says awareness cures. And so when we have more awareness about ourselves and our baggage from our childhood and what we learned from our parents' marriage and conflict resolution and all of these things, and we can start to see ourselves not as a victim, but as somebody that's played a role in this, and then how do we move into more of a creator role or in creating a new future for ourselves. So Metamorphosis is a lot about taking stock and self-inquiry and a lot of learnings. And then the third phase is the release phase. That's where people start to envision what's next and re-envision themselves. Who are they after all these years of marriage, maybe being a parent, and to look at what do they value, what do they want to learn, what have they learned from this about deal breakers and things that they will not tolerate in the next relationship or don't want in their next relationship. And, there's many times we need to reinvent ourselves in our lives. Illness, and divorce is a big one, and aging and different things like that. There's many times, and so this program, I think, really helps people build resiliency for lots of different changes. And so there's cocooning, metamorphosis, and then release. And again, just looking at how you want to move forward in your life with all you've learned. And for me, I think, my work as a therapist is all about cultivating wisdom from our experience. If we're not learning anything, we're not growing, and we're just perpetuating the same things. And there's a very high rate of second marriages failing. I can forget the current, changes probably all the time. It's probably 70%, because you're still doing the same things, and you've got stepchildren and all of these other factors and all the baggage that you're carrying on from the last relationship. So it's really about helping people do their work and grow so that they're more available to be in a better relationship and cultivating the wisdom of this time. So
Yeah, well, I have to tell you, you just described in these 3 stages what I tried to do over the course of a year and was relatively successful in it. And so I'm starting to think maybe this is possible. That was 50 weeks, 1 hour a week. If you call it 50 hours, that starts to make a little bit more sense.
yeah, and we do have a 3-month program version of that, because some people can't do what the 21-day program involves, and I can share a little bit more about that. So the 3-month program is for people that have children, they're working a job, they're trying to get their stuff together, and it may not just be possible. So a little extension of 3 months. And it's the same program, it's just spread out over a little more time, but it's not a year, it's not 3 years.
Yeah. And so going back to that 21 days, what do those 21 days look like? Is it 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.? What's involved?
That's a great question. Every day is different, but every day you're going to log in to our portal, and there's lessons, there's a theme for the day, there's videos, there's exercises for you to self-reflect on the particular theme for the day, and a journal, and then you'll meet with your coach once or twice a week, and the coach is there to help you get unstuck, maybe help you see another perspective, because sometimes we can get stuck in our narrative about something. And so the divorce coach will help with that, and also it's a container that the divorce coach holds. And the Haven retreat that we have is a 7-day version of this. So there's people that need 3 months, a little more time, and then there's the people that are like, no, I want to dive in and I want to go for it. And they have the time and the money to do that. And I have people that travel all over the United States and Canada to come be with me, we're doing several hours a day. And so it's much more therapeutic time with your coach. It's a really accelerated version, and for some people, that's the right fit. And I feel amazed. Like, I love doing the Haven retreats. People come in, they come in and they're kind of a wreck, and they aren't that hopeful, but they're sometimes desperate. They just want to feel better, and they want something. And spending a couple hours a day with them, and it's accelerated a couple lessons a day, excuse me, and they leave a different person. It's amazing.
It does sound amazing. And how are staff assigned to the people they're working with? How are coaches and participants matched?
Right now we have a coach in South Africa. She also works in Thailand and New Zealand, and then I'm holding for quite a large territory.
Right.
And Adela's bringing on more divorce coaches.
Got it.
And we're really I'm looking at how can we really promote this to collaborative practice groups. This is a divorce practice group that helps people to stay out of litigation in the courts, and that this would be a great program for divorce attorneys to send people through, or you might want to send like the partners of your clients through this program, right? And so it's growing. This comes out of her own divorce in 2009, as I mentioned, and she's taken thousands of people through this program.
And can you share with us, without revealing any defining characteristics, one of the most difficult cases you've dealt with trying to move someone through this 21-day program?
Well, I think the hardest thing about the 21-day program is having people stay committed to it. When they're in their own environment, it's, I think, much harder for them to stay focused. But having the coaches be there a couple times a week, and there's this accountability and self-responsibility that they have to take. You know, so I think that's probably the biggest challenge of the 21-day program. And with the Haven, where you're with them so many more hours a day, you really can keep them focused. But that's not possible for everybody to come and spend a week in San Francisco Bay Area or somewhere else, you know. But I would say maybe to respond to that a little differently, David, would be there's some people that this program is not for. And this program is for people that are really able to self-reflect and take responsibility. And even if they're stuck and they've got their narratives and they're depressed, there's still somebody that has the ability to self-reflect and get feedback and take input. And there's a class of people that aren't good for that. You know, people with bigger psychiatric disorders, like maybe borderline personality disorder or bipolar, they're not going to be a great fit for the program. And we try to do a great screening of people through the clarity call that we do to make sure that they are a good fit and so that they are going to be successful. And because we don't want to take people through the program that aren't going to benefit from it, you know. And for those people, they probably need more like a 3-year program, much slower paced of something, and much more hand-holding in a container. And that's not this program. This program is really for, you know, people that are like want efficiency and effectiveness and want something time-bound.
Can you tell me more about this clarity call you mentioned? Is that like the initial consultation? What goes on during the clarity call?
Yeah, with the clarity call, we learn about their experience, what's their situation, what's involved, and try to suss out some of the stuff we were just talking about, like personality disorders, but also where are they in the process of divorcing? You know, some people call, they're just thinking about divorce, or their partners just said, we want to get it, they want a divorce. And some people have been divorced for quite some time, and 3 years later, 4 years later, they're still feeling like they're stuck. And some people are remarried even and feeling like how it's affecting their new relationship. So we really find out where are they in the process of their divorce, what are they dealing with, what are the symptoms, and how's that showing up in their life, and share with them a little about the programs that we have. And to find out what's a good fit for them. You know, we also have programs, like I've had people call and their partner just said they want a divorce, and the Naked Divorce program isn't quite ready. I don't think they're quite ready for that program. So we have clarity programs where we will do, and typically I've done this in a retreat kind of fashion where they come in and we really help them to discern what do they want to stay in the relationship. And so there's clarity programs. We have programs for conscious uncoupling as well that works with both people to help them separate. So we kind of find out where are they in the process and what's the best fit for them. And then what's their budget? You know, would a retreat be better? Is the 21-day better because they can't travel, or those kinds of things. And yeah.
So doctor, could you clarify a little bit more between the 7-day Haven program? What goes on? Is that all in person? Is it at a retreat? The 21-day program, is that all online or is it a hybrid program? And then what does the 3-month program look like?
So the 21-day program is a program where they're going to log in every day to our portal, and every day they're going to have some activities and guided things to do. So there's homework, there's reflections, and so it's very guided, and there's a curriculum, and taking them through those 3 phases that we talked about. And then they're meeting with a coach. And so again, the coach is going to help them to move through the program. The 3-month program is that same program. It's just they're going to work with their coach on how slow a pace do they need to go. And so maybe they're not going to do it every day. Maybe they're going to do 2 or 3 a week or something like that, to fit that into the 3-month program.
Got it.
In the Haven program, they're going to do some warm-ups before they come to the retreat. They're going to do some warm-ups, and they're going to do a couple of the first lessons, and they're going to come in ready to tell their relationship story. And then we're going to fly from there. And it's a very fast-paced, very intensive, rockin' 2 or 3 sessions a day, or lessons of the curriculum. And then they're going to go home, and they're going to finish the last 5 lessons at home. And the divorce coach meets with them a couple times before they come in and a couple times after they return to finish those 5 remaining lessons. And so there's a lot of prep work in getting them ready for either of the programs, for all the programs. They're going to meet with the divorce coach a few times to get ready and be prepared. And then integration calls at the end. To how are you doing? Are you following through? Or do you feel stuck? And so the different things that can really help them. And then we also sell coaching packages or 5 coaching sessions if they feel like they need a little more hand-holding moving back into their life. So it's not like we go, okay, bye, see ya,
Right.
But a lot of people feel ready to move on, but that is available for people that feel like they could use a little bit more.
Have you found in working with all the people you've worked with in the Naked Divorce program that there's one thing that always sparks them to say, this is something for me?
I think when they really feel that there's something that can help them get through this. And in the clarity call, something happens, when we're listening to their story and we're sharing with them about the program, they get that this is helpful. And they don't have to do it alone, and they can't do it alone. And I think they feel supported, and they feel like they need this kind of a container because they're, either have gone for a long time after being divorced and they haven't done it yet, or they're in the throes of a lot of chaos in their life. So I wouldn't say there's one thing, but I think just feeling like, yeah, this is what I need.
Great. And so if someone wants to know more about your program, where can they find you?
They can go to nakeddivorce.com, and there's lots of information there. There's lots of videos and testimonials on our website, and I can book a clarity call, and we'll get, talk to them and see if it's a right fit for them.
Great information. A fascinating program that you're running, and I'm sure it benefits tons and tons of people. Thanks so much for coming today.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's so good to share this, and appreciate our work in helping people move on from divorce in a really healthy and healing way. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you.
It's standard practice here at the Hourglass Podcast to share some lyrics from a song that encapsulates the message in each episode or ties in some way. Lyrics that also refer to time, how fast it goes by, how we need to cherish it, and most importantly, how to spend it wisely. That said, sometimes we need to slow down. We need time to let things be as they are, as part of the process. Dr. Sher had some great ideas for quickly processing a divorce, but if you're struggling to sort it all out, then allow yourself the time to do just that. Sure, you may want to attend a retreat, divorce boot camp, some type of accelerated program, or maybe this is one of those times in your life when you should just take a deep breath and let the process run its course. With that in mind, today I picked Let It Be by the Beatles. Though there are several interpretations of the meaning of the lyrics, Sir Paul McCartney, who actually wrote the song based on a telepathic dream about advice given to him by his deceased mother Mary, it suggests that some should just let go at times and allow a situation to take care of itself. Working through your divorce process might be quick, or it might take longer than you would like. But as McCartney points out over and over, let it be. Whatever time you spend on your divorce, trying to reorganize or redesign your life as part of that process, know there will be an answer. Let it be.